Now, hello there. This is diary entry for the 13th of October 2015. Now, that's quite a while. It's about almost 2 weeks since I actually did an actual video entry, let alone publishing my data and my blog entry. Sorry. Now, the reason for that is fairly simple, but at the same time complex when you think about it. Now, the reason being is if you recall, on my 12th of October entry, which is the previous entry to this, I actually said that I will have a budget special, budget 2016, that the Government of Ireland actually announced on the 13th, which is today, well, today's entry anyway, because today the reality is the 30th of October. And I did say that would actually be, what am I saying, that I'd be saying as budget 2016 special. Just now, just can't hear with the TV going on in the background. I thought I could, but anyway, whatever. So, well, I'm gonna get on with the budget 2016 special, and here it goes. All right. Now, it all started with budget 2016 when the way that normally it works in a Dáil is the two financial ministers, okay? Minister for Finance, Michael Noonan, which I'm about to read out his speech. Well, not in full, obviously not. It takes about 14 minutes, which the majority of it don't matter to me personally. And also, I don't understand half of it. Just a few bits and pieces I actually do understand. And the other financial minister would be Minister for Public Expenditure and there's some of the title I can't, but I know for a fact it's Public Expenditure, Brendan Howlin of the Labour Party. Now, this year, as it happens, there was two awful tragedies that occurred, I think a week or so in advance of the actual budget in question. The Carrick Mines, which I have already explained to you, 10 travellers died in a horrific fire, I was going to say accident for whatever reason, and fire accident, and a fire, and what else? Oh yeah, and then the other one who's up in now, a guard there in the line of duty, was shot dead, and he's the 88th member of the An Garda Síochána, which in English means the guard of peace, something like that, which is translated from the Irish language. Now, the ministers who all gathered in the Dáil area for the budget speeches all gathered up together and stood for a minute's silence, okay? And then after, or was it before the minute silence? Actually, I'm wrong. Before the minute silence was held, the Taoiseach, the leader of the Labour Party, Minister Joan Burton, who's the Minister of Social Protection, and of course the Taoiseach and the leader of the Labour Party, got a lot of pension. I bet you she'd get it, whatever. That's them ball game. Taoiseach comes up, of course, who's the head of the government, of the Prime Minister of the Irish government. He's the leader of Fine Gael, of the Fine Gael party. Who else is there? Then there was the leader of the opposition parties, being Fianna Fáil, Micheál Martin. The Gerry Adams being the president of Sinn Féin, of, I think, both the Republic and the North of Ireland. And then the other smaller parties are known as the Technical Group, which was looked after by, what's that guy, the English fella's name? Shane, the hell, I forgot his name. Whoever he is, he's the member of the Technical Group, and technically actually independent, but anyway, they each all gave a little miniature speech, okay? Just saying how sorry they were, I should say, to hear about the fire and all that, and about the guard shooting and all that, and they gave their lives to country, yada yada yada. And then of course and then the minute silence was held. So now, after minute silence, the Minister for Finance, Minister Michael Noonan, gets up and stands. I was going to say for some reason professes his faith, but I don't know why, but anyway. And it goes. Let's have a look, see. Now, okay, right. Below, okay, Sean Corley. I might actually read out the full speech. But then again, might be all bolty, and besides, you have access to it on the. If you Google it, he's your best friend these days, you know. So the Minister for Finance, Tim McInerney, started off by talking about the Easter Rising of the 1916 commemoration. Now, Ireland is celebrating its 100th anniversary of its independence, when we gained independence from the United Kingdom in, in 100 years ago, okay? It's the birth of Michael Collins, which is to do with the birth of Fine Gael, something like that. That's, again, my history is a bit rusty in that area. And that's what he's talking about that for a bit. So he's providing budgetary for that amount. Then the banking, okay. Again, it's all bold to me, so I'm not going to bother reading it all out to you. Most importantly, our people are much stronger. So Sean Corley book comes in. Fine Gael and the Labour Party know that the job of recovery is not yet complete. Now, you all have to bear in mind this is the last budget of the current coalition parties, okay? Now what that means is we have a new general election coming up in spring of 2016. So that means good chance it'll probably be the exact same government, but I'm not the politician here or whatever. So if it is the exact same, you could say this was not the last budget 2016 or whatever, but technically it is the last one until a new government is formed in the 32nd dawn, if I last recall rightly. Okay? Come on, thank you. It's not the warmest these nights or days. So then they have to keep going on with the recovery, okay? So then again with Michael, it wasn't the most important to me personally because it's all about the jobs, and unfortunately I'm not in a job at the moment. So he's trying to get the public finances in order and up to scratch. So they have been given, if I recall rightly, about 1.5 billion euro to mess around with for the 2016 year, okay? So that's between now, the 13th of October 2015 to October 13, 2016. Hence the budget 2016. So then moving on, obviously Ireland is in debt severely, maybe not as much as the United States, but still we are pretty high in debt. So they're currently trying to reduce the level of the debt, I should say. So now we keep going. So the budget package now. Okay, here we go now. There's only one tax increase in the budget. So I missed that. Oh, sorry, yeah, I did actually miss. So the budget package actually includes 750 million euros, and I was going to say my colleague, yeah, right, and my Mr. Michael Noonan's colleague, whatever his name is, Brendan Howland, he'll be introducing then next set being the expenditure of the public aspect. So from what I gather, I think Michael does the private aspect of the budget. I'm not sure, but anyway, here we go. So first, most important, as of midnight tonight, October the 13th, so probably October the 14th onwards, there will be an increase of the price of cigarettes up to by 50 cents, which would be 10 euros 50 cents for a packet of 20 cigarettes. Sorry. Now, that's one of the all reliable, and that's the only tax increase of the budget. Okay, that's point one. Making work pay. Okay, budget 2016. Great. Put the particular emphasis. And I address the taxation issue, and my colleague here, Minister Howland, will address the other two, which again I'll be doing that in a few minutes. Now I will continue this report from January the 1st. Yes, the infamous USC. What this stands for is the Universal Social Charge, the most regressive, most unpopular tax ever introduced in the history of the state. Basically what happened is, when the last government, Fianna Fáil, ran the country to its knees, okay, they had to introduce some form of measure to get back taxes from the people. Unfortunately, it affected every Tom, Dick and Harry. So now, he's increasing the threshold to the USC. What that means is you must be earning a particular amount to be charged this particular regressive tax. So at the moment it used to be 12,000 per annum. I assume that is it? I assume that. Jeez, God, that is pretty hefty. Now that I think about it. So if I were to be in a job of about 20k a year, obviously I'd have, so I'd be automatically entitled to be taken for this USC. Yo, God, I'm not doing a strip show here at all. You can find some other video for that if you want. So my point is, I'm getting off the topic as usual. My point is that he's increasing the threshold from 12,000 euros and 12,012 euros up to 13,000. So that means approximately 42,500 workers will be removed out of that completely. So it is estimated that over 700,000 income earners will not be liable to USC at all from next year. So I am also reducing the 3 lowest rates of USC. So there's 3 levels of USC, which personally I never understood, but whatever, it don't matter to me. 1.5% will be reduced down to 1%. This applies to the first 12,012 euros of the income. Okay? The next set high goes slightly higher. Obviously it'll be increasing from now on. 3.5% rate down to 3%. This applies on the income in excess of 12,000 euros and 12,012 euros, between 12,012 to 18,668 euros. You'll be charged that. And for those who are earning between 18,668 up to 70,044 euros, you'll be charged 5.5%, which is down from 7%. Now the government do hope to get rid of it completely if, as big as if, they are returned back to power, as I said, in the next general election, which is June next year, 2016. So they hope to get rid of it completely altogether. So probably one of the manifestos or whatever they call it, just to get it out, you know. Now, for medical care, that means bold to me, so I'm not going to bother. So supporting single income families, okay, I'd say that's probably the biggest fatty for me personally. Because, like, that's what I understand completely, like, the local property tax, again, another regressive tax, but again, among you, giving you crap. So he's extending the bank levy to 2021 again. That means nothing to me, or as you're hearing the likes of Tal or whatever, jack shit to me. So there's one particular area very interesting. Oh yes, the tourism sector. Now, last year, the Minister of Finance introduced a reduction of the VAT from, if I recall rightly, 21%. It could be, or it could be 12%. I think it's 21%. It used to be the VAT for tourism, but it's now down to 9%. And then there's air travel tax as well. This year, for 2016, he's actually left that completely. So he's not making any changes. Basically, bottom line saying the VAT rate of the 9% stays. End of. The agri-food sector, me being a vegetarian, well now vegan, not gonna bother reading any of that. If you want to know about it, you know where to go. Google is your best friend in that category. Microbreweries, that's to do with alcohol, is it? Yeah, brewers. So again, I can't understand any of that, so just gonna move on. Retailers, unfortunately, they're the biggest losers. Now, this is the bit now here I was interested in. Now, you may have heard of these contactless payment cards. Basically what that means is there's a little symbol on the actual card in question. Make sure that thing's still a card. Yeah, he's still hanging. There's a little symbol on your credit card or debit card, whatever you call it, okay? What that basically means, you are able to pay for it with your card. Obviously you have to have funds in your bank account in question at hand. But that aside though, if you have this little symbol, which majority of cards do have nowadays, you'll be able to pay, or you have been able to pay for transactions up to about €15. So say a cup of tea, or anything so small like my ex-I do it. My mate O'Farrell, he used to ask me to, or he used to pay with his own credit card or debit card for a Coke, which is about $1.50. That's important. Thank you. So again, the max of that used to be up to €15. So from October 31st, which funny, that's tomorrow, the 31st being Halloween, and that's going up to €30, the limit. So you'll be able to go right up to €0 well, 1 cent, right up to 30 cents. Okay. Now to get with the reduction, okay, I will. Now this infamous recast, that means nothing to me, but apparently there's a stamp duty of debit and ATM cards of €5. So from January 1st of January 2016, the stamp duty would be removed and replaced with a 12-cent charge per ATM transaction. Now, from what I gather from there, every year the government used to take out €5 regardless of any transaction, okay, or of any usage. I think what it is, if you use the ATM once, they charge €5. But now they're actually going to charge you with 12 cents for every time you use the card in the ATM machine. That won't affect me personally, because I rarely use the ATM anymore. I used to like a whore, but not anymore. So there will be BRB babies. Okay, so there'll be no more charge for debit card transaction. Now, no consumer will be losing out as a result of this change, as its stamp duty will be capped at the existing levels of €2.50 or €5 depending on the card type. That bit I got confused. I got a bit ditzy. So actually I do not understand that bit at all. So I'm like, debit, I will recast the 5-year stamp duty on debit ATM cards. This is his quote. Now I'll read out the quote and you might be able to understand it. The quote I understand is, to further encourage and incentivize greater usage of card payment by consumers, I will recast the €5 stamp duty on debit/ATM cards. From the 1st of January 2016, this stamp duty will be removed and replaced with a 12-cent charge per ATM transaction. There will be no charge for debit card transactions. No consumer will be lost, I think that should say. He says lose, I think that should say lose out or lost out as a result of this change, as the stamp duty will be capped, which means it cannot go any higher. Them charging, I should say, at the existing levels of €2.50 or €5 depending on card type. That bit I got a bit ditzy or confused, and I still am even to this day, 13 days on. Film relief, yeah, okay. Now, Ireland has this. This is the infamous. The film industry. Well, again, I'm increasing the cap of eligible expenditure to €70 million. Now, again, if you understand tax credit, well and good. Again, you know where to go. Google or Bing, for that matter. Now, fostering innovation, is that to do with fostering human beings? No, I doubt it. So no, I'm gonna leave that at employment, increasing the level of spending. Oh God, yes, yeah. Unfortunately, as some of you may, thank you. As some of you may know, actually, I did a sleep out with the homeless people, homeless charity, we call it, whatever, right? Called what's the name? March for the Homeless, BRB. Now we're back to square one. At least for another hour, anyway, but whatever. Right, let's try again. Oh yeah, it's about the homeless. Yeah, I did a March for the Homeless, a sleep out recently. I think it's a few Saturdays ago. which you'll be told in advance. I'm kind of telling the future now. But anyway, and we were all hoping that the government would provide funding, or at least we were all expecting rent allowance increase and rent incentives. The latter I don't understand, but former I understand because I'm on rent allowance, and we're hoping that that would get increased. Because at the moment, all our rents are being increased, and we're not able to make our payments, and the usual, like you get. I was going to say depressed for some reason, but you get all homeless or whatever. So we're all hoping, but instead the government actually provided, as far as I understand, driven by demographic. Excuse me. Again, it's to do with NAM, which stands for National Asset Management Agency. Again, this crowd were actually set up by the previous government in terms of how to get them to help bring in all the cash that was actually being lost because of themselves and the greedy yada yada yada. So again, as we look forward and plan for 2016 and the years ahead, the opportunity now exists to build an economy that delivers secure and well-paid jobs, incomes and pensions, world-class infrastructure, high-quality public services and certainty. Now, certainty about the future, no booms and no busts, which the previous government was very popular in doing. So then he continues on finishing up, because we're almost done now. Defend our, oh, that's what I'm mixing up. The corporation tax is staying the same. That's what I was mixing up. Sorry, my apologies. The VAT rate for the tourism was always 21%, and he brought it down to 9% last year, and he kept it the same this year, or for next year. So he's leaving that alone, and the corporate tax is being left alone completely. So then, but more important than anything else, it will keep the recovery going, which, whatever. So now, the last word that every single finance minister has always said, regardless of the person: I commend this budget to the House, and depending on the actual content of the budget, they either clap or they don't. But in this case, they did. So now on to the Minister of Public Expenditure. What the hell does he do? I knew it. Minister for Public Expenditure and Reform. That's the word I was looking for. I knew there was something else. Right. Unfortunately, he got a few jeers, which I hope mightn't be put in here. But if I can recall, because I did look at the budget speech several times, you still had nothing else to watch. But anyway. Right, this is the public expenditure, what the government itself spends the money on, what they hope to spend it on, okay? So now, over the year, I should say. So now, in April, it is well funded. Okay, until the promissory notes registered a staggering deficit, which, as I said, was really bad. So, as Minister Noon, which is his previous colleagues, the one I'm looking for, thank you, has stated, from a peak of over 120%, next year our debt to GDP ratio is forecast to be 93%. So they still have to get the low, but it's getting there. My God, there's about 27%. Not bad. Now, currently unemployment, which peaked at over 15%, is now, when the government came into power in 2011. Imagine now, unemployment was at 15%. It is now at 9.4%. I'll try again. 9.4%. The government has created 130,000 jobs since 2012. By George, that's a hell of a jobs. And yet this guy can't get any. What does that say? But anyway, so then the fairness, okay, yada yada yada. Again, I'm not going to go through all this. Okay, one thing I can one thing I can mention is, in July of this year, the Low Pay Commission recommended that the minimum wage be increased by 50 cents to over €9 an hour. Now, the Commission has recognized that. So today, I am very pleased to confirm that the government will implement the Commission's proposal. So from January 31st, 2016, you will be entitled to a minimum wage of €9.15, up 50 cents from €8.65 per hour. So your minimum wage has been increased. Again, it's a bit low with today's standards, well, in Ireland anyway, at the very least. So making work pay, that was there. So they protected the core social welfare payments, which is the basic payment, being my fellows, job seekers allowance, disability allowance, etc., etc. Okay. I am especially proud that we maintain the state pension. Okay, state pension. Oh yes, sorry, we left that alone. See, they left that alone, not me. Also, whatever. Okay, so then I am pleased to, especially proud that we maintain. Okay, since the beginning we in school buildings. Okay, so despite the huge pressure, yada yada yada, fiscal. Oh, that's to do with the fiscal treaty, which that's definitely that's to do with fiscal treaty, which was. It was ratified last right by through referendum by people of Ireland in 2012. Forcibly, unfortunately, but anyway, because if I recall rightly, that was done twice by a referendum in Ireland. But anyway, what can you do? Nothing. Then the Lansdowne Road Agreement, which is to do with the payments or pay and of the public service, if I recall rightly. Yeah, that's right. Which okay, so I'm just gonna keep going on. Capital Plan, which was announced recently, well, in the last few days, between October 8th or something like that. Anyway, don't care, it's their business. Okay, childcare. Okay, childcare itself was gone up by €5 per month. That's a child benefit. So people, people who are actually getting child benefit will have an increase of €5 per month, and it starts, I think, in January 2016. Alright, then the education. I am allocating €8.5 billion to the education sector for current expenditure in 2016, meaning there will be more teacher pupil ratio, to the new teaching posts. Yeah, there you go. 2,260 new additional teaching posts, including 600 new resource teachers. Then there, okay, we've Bitcoin, that's good, because we have a lot to talk about. Primary level, okay, I don't understand the ratio bit, because I was thinking 19 students to one, what do you call that thing, teacher. Okay, I understand that bit, but 18.7 students, there's no such thing as a 0.7 of a human being. So I'm sure it's some other mathematical way that I don't understand. So I'm just going to leave that alone. I am allocating €19.6 billion to the Department of Social Protection in 2016. Within this allocation, I am particularly anxious to protect and support our older citizens. So with that, the older citizens will receive €3 a week in 2016 on top of their pension weekly. So I think that's what, 188 plus 3. I could be wrong. I am also restoring the value of the respite care grant of €1,700, which is, oh, that's right, respite. Yeah, I think that was the bereavement grant thing, but that's because that was taken away completely. So, but this one, they're bringing back respite care grant. So that's to do with if their loved one is in hospital or whatever. Okay, so they bring that back. I am also pleased to announce that the fuel allowance, that's right, it's gone up by €2.50 to €22.50 a week. So another fuel allowance will become an extra, which starts, I think, immediately. I could be wrong. Can't remember that bit actually. And the USC, so to compensate, we are increasing the threshold to family income supplement by €5 a week for families with one child and €10 a week for families with 2 or more children. Okay, didn't even know that. Whatever. Together with the rising minimum. Okay, well, I've explained to you about the minimum wage. Finally, our strong record of reducing unemployment, restoring the public finance means that this year we can increase the Christmas bonus. Here we go. For those in receipt of social welfare to 75%. So, my sister and I did a calculation. If you're on €188 per week, you will receive €140 a week extra. That once off, I should say, because Christmas bonus is once off. And if you're on double payment of 188 plus your living alone allowance, which is part of your core social welfare payment, which is 195, you will receive 142, something like that. I could be wrong. But the Taoiseach will have announced, which is the leader of the Labour Party, Mr. Joan Burton, because she's the head of this social protection area. and she'll announce further details of the social welfare package later on in the day, or whatever. The best form of social protection is a job. So the reduction in total funding of the Department of Jobs, Enterprise and Innovation will be €792 million. That's headed by the guy Richard Bruton, who I used to do a lot of canvassing for. And moving on. So the capital plan, okay, and then the health. I'm providing €13.2 billion for health, for the delivery of health services next year. I'm happy to say this restores resourcing of our health service to its pre-crisis level. So this year, free GP care for the under 6s and over 70s was put in place. This represented the first step in the phased introduction of universal GP service and is benefiting over 300,000 senior citizens and children. Linked to this was the introduction of cycle of care in relation to type 2 diabetes and asthma. Now, in 2016, the level of in GP care will be actually provided to those without fees to all those under 12. So if you have a child who's age 11 right up to his birthday, so if the child's birthday, I'll take my one for example. If my birthday is the 23rd of July 1984. Now, if the child is up to 22nd of July and he or she was born 23:59, if you want to go exactly detail, she will be entitled to this free GP care if you want to go really in depth. But technically, if a child was born 22nd of July, in my case, I would be entitled. Obviously, you have to be 12, under 12 anyway. This marks the next phase of the implementation of universal GP care. So that's one thing I wanted to stick in. The Fair Deal Nursing Scheme, okay. Needs fair deal funding will be provided within 4 weeks, okay. Then housing, unfortunately, is not, like I said a few minutes ago, not the best, really bad. So currently increasing the allocation of social housing by a further €69 million to €414 million. This funding will enable local authorities to secure accommodation for an additional 14,000 households. I am making them for the post to broadcast area. That's right, to call it Democrat of Gas Network Ireland or something. Right, okay. Moving on. Historic, that's right, arts and heritage again. Arts and heritage being the historical year of our country, 2016. It is right that we mark the centenary of the 1916 Rising commemoration event that we can all be proud of. The Rising was the event that propelled our nation on the path to independent statehood. We need to mark with respect, be aware of its complexities and appreciative of its idealism. We are the beneficiaries of its legacy. In recognition of this, €50 million has been provided for an extensive range of events and initiatives under our commemorations programs. And it will also for the development of the GPO Interpretative Centre, the National Monument on Moore Street, Teach an Phiarsaigh in Irish, Pierce's House in Russmuck, and an Athenaeum, God, I can't even pronounce it, Athenaeum Solana in Enniscorthy, County Wexford. The allocation for the Department of Arts, Heritage and the Gaeltacht will also provide an additional €3 million for a new scheme of one-off grants to arts and cultural centres throughout the country. I would like to briefly now outline some of the measures. Justice. €2.2 billion will be provided to the Department of Justice for current expenditure. Paradas 600 Gardaí will be additionally trained and recruited. So an extra Gardaí on the street would be great. Last year, the Minister of Justice, which I think was Francis Fitzgerald, depending on exactly the timeline when it was introduced or announced that the Garda Training College in Templemore, County Tipperary, would reopen and it will remain to be open. Resources, okay, for the new ICE, for the Housing Authority, that's new to me now. Okay, and fragility of life. Okay, 25 minutes. Defense, 903 million euros has been allocated to the Department of Defense. Excuse me. And then international, okay, agriculture, like I said, if you're, yeah, okay, 1.3. And so, conclusion. Again, I'm gonna read out for word as I did in the previous one. At the election in 2011, this government made two key promises. We promised we would fix the public finances and restore growth to our economy. We've made good on those promises. We promised too that we would never again allow the state to fall into similar peril. The spending increases announced today are moderate, sensible, and commensurate with our economic requirements. We continue to make good progress. Our debt is falling, our deficit is narrowing, unemployment is coming down. The previous government's budgetary failure to help to lead us to crisis. Between 2000 and 2008, gross spending was increased by 139%. In the run-up to the 2007 general election, between 2005 and 2007, public spending was ramped up by 25% or over 11 billion euros in nominal terms. Okay, who speaks Syrian? Oh, Syrian. Those through prudent and careful management of the state's finances, this government brought the country back from the brink. Our recovery, though not yet complete, is not only a justification of our policies, but a condemnation of the easy alternatives proffered, whatever that means. I think I should say offered, but anyway, by some who speaks of Syriza now, which is a party over in Greece. I think the left-wing party, those who were against the Greek government at the time. Oh, again, I know. So we reap the benefit, and now, as we set our course, today we reap the benefits of the hard work and resilience of the Irish people as we set our course for a better Ireland. Now, that's almost 35 minutes, almost 40 minutes. So, that's basically it. I'll see if I can provide any highlights. Here are the main points of budget 2016. Okay. Right, here we go. So now the highlights of budget 2016, okay, what I've just called out. The only reliable, such as increase of alcohol pricing, that's been left alone, alright? So, here are the following points. 20 pack of cigarettes being increased by 50 cents from midnight tonight, being Tuesday the 13th of October, which is well gone by now, alright? USC entry point has been increased from 12,012 euros to 13,000, okay, which will remove 42,500 workers from the scope of the charge. Alright, and I'm not going to go through the detail of the exact rates because they've been dealt with. The marginal, that means something to me. Okay, free preschool childcare. This I did leave out. Free preschool childcare will be available from children from 3 years until they start primary education or reach the age of 5.5 years. Christmas bonus for social welfare recipients will be restored to 75% of the recipient's weekly payment. Now, it means a pensioner on 230 euros will receive 173. This will be myself now. Not bad. A dole claimant receiving the unemployment benefit of 188 euros will get a bonus of 141 euros. So on that particular day, Mr. Stanescu here will receive 819, 8412, 112 and 300 and 320. 29 euros. That's not bad. Go down by. That's what I'll receive on that particular day, which I think is the first or second week of December. Okay? Then the old age pension will increase by 3 euros per week from January. Okay? Child benefit is to increase by 5 euros a month to 140 euros a month from January again. The respite care grant from carers will be restored to its previous levels of 1,700 euros. I think that's per annum, I would imagine. Okay, we're not that expensive. Not that rich, I should say. The government is to legislate for 2 weeks of statutory paternity. Oh, that's right, for the fathers. For the very first time ever, fathers will be they'll be able to receive that, whatever way it goes. The fuel allowance will be increased by €2.50 per week to $22.50. Now, this particular one does not say who, but whatever. Excuse me. Minister for Health Leo Varadkar will receive funding to extend the free GP care scheme to children under the age of 12. Okay. Minister for Justice Francis Fitzgerald will be in position to recruit up to 600 Gardaí and will receive funding to improve Garda technology, being ICT, which I think is to do computers. That's right. So look at the guy's boxes. Some 2,200 new teachers will be hired in an effort to reduce the pupil-teacher ratio at primary level and, of course, at second level as well. Threshold for family income support has been increased by 5 years a week and with 1 child and 10 years a week with 2 or more children. Owners of commercial vehicles, yes, this is a biggie, especially for those in the truck industry. Owners of the commercial vehicles above a certain size will have their motor tax significantly reduced. The maximum rate will be €900 compared to a current top level. Damn, that's a lot of hunky. It used to be €5,000, I'll try again, €5,195, and it is down to €900 now. That's not bad at all. So you're saying at a certain tax, I assume, is it? Yeah, it is tax, yeah. So commercial vehicles, like a truck or van or whatever, they used to pay €5,195 for, I assume that's per year, something, right? And now it's been capped at €900. Damn, they're doing bloody well. That's a big, I knew it was a big deal at the time, but didn't know it was that big a deal. Well, look, that's almost €5,000 gone. And moving on, I tend to get a woohee tax credit for who are carers in the home. Yep, lovely. In the home, right, by 191,000. The train come touch over. Okay, that means me. Sorry, I'm gonna move on. CGT capital gains tax. Okay, I'm getting a bit. Ditzy, bank levy. Okay, is this? No, that's not the one I was thinking. Pension fund levy will now be abolished in 2016. I think that was introduced in the previous government. I could be wrong there. So, okay, capital eligible. Okay, now Mr. Deliver 20,000. Okay, that's the one of the homeless. Sadly, didn't do much. New housing measures. Okay, 750. Now for the 19, and I'm gonna end on this. I was going to sign off for whatever reason, and then I'm gonna end on this lovely note. For the 1916 Rising, funding has been made available. This is the last bulletin now, of €50 million for all the events and initiatives under the commemorations program. So, what was in this particular way? Exactly the same, I think. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. Almost €45. Almost 45 minutes. And this is just the budget special now, okay? So I'm gonna do the actual diary entry in question, okay? So I'll speak soon.